Hello Internet, this is Bare Feet Billy, and I want to inform everyone about electrician's helper tools, what you need. And I'll start with this tough-built belt, which I like very much. It's kind of a modular system, and it allows you to clip on and clip off all of the different pouches that go with it. It has these receiving clips that you can put anywhere on the belt. You can also clip those on and off, but then you can easily remove the pouches, mix and match, which I find to be absolutely excellent. Highly recommend it. I got mine from Home Depot. If you want to work fast and efficiently as an electrician's helper, here are some tools that I would suggest that you have. First tool would be a hammer. This is a 14-ounce Fat Max by Stanley hammer, and you use this a lot. Sometimes you bust holes in cement block. You use them to put up can lights, and you use them quite a bit to put in staples to secure your wires to the wood frames of the houses that you're working in. So that's a important one, and it's nice to have a hammer that feels good in your hand. This one cost about $25, and it has a really good feel. I think the 14 ounce is just about perfect. So on from the hammer, I do use a drill quite a bit. This is a set that I got from Home Depot by Milwaukee. It was $100 for 2 drills. This is the impact drill, and the other one is a standard drill with a regular chuck. The impact drill has the snap in and snap out. This is very helpful to speed up your job a lot. And if you get one of these, you're definitely going to want to get an extension. The extension helps when you're trying to install 4 square boxes or anything that has a deep inset where you're trying to put in. Mostly, I use it mostly when I'm putting in tap cons. I use a lot of tap cons. These are the, and once again I got a tough built holster for it, which works spectacularly. Everything that I got from Tough Built I really like. This pouch I think was about, I think it was under $20. The Tough Built products are not that expensive. They're reasonably priced. I picked this one because it had a pouch in the front, so it doubles as a drill holster and a pouch. Comes in very handy. The rest of the tools necessary for the job of electrician's helper. This is Tough Built's Master Electrician's Pouch. It has a ton of pockets, so it holds everything that you would need. Where do I start? Let's start at the front. One of the things that is absolutely essential is a needle nose pliers. These are by Knipex. I have a thing about tools. Tools are kind of an extension of any tradesman's body, and quality tools I think are important. They can last you a lifetime, but Knipex are pretty expensive. They're made in Germany. But this needle nose, you use it a lot to open the holes for the wiring in boxes. You have to jam it in. You can also use it in drywall when you're using toggle bolts. This one has a good cutter, so it'll cut 14.3, 14.2, 12.2. That's about the limit, is about a 12.2. But this is Knipex's needle nose pliers, and they're pricey. I think these were about $30. So that's the needle nose pliers. The next thing that you will certainly need is a pair of diagonal cutters. I would recommend getting the offset diagonal cutters, because this is very important for prying staples out of studs. You can come up to the staple and grab the edge of it, and since it's angled like this instead of straight, you can pry down and it'll pull the staple right out. So I'd skip getting the regular flat one and get the angled one. This also is Knipex, and also pretty expensive. You don't want to lose these. You can lose a cheaper pair and you won't cry about it, but these Knipex, this one I think was in the $37 range. Beautiful tools. Really nice. This has the comfort grip. Since I'm on the Knipex, this is another Knipex. This is a ingenious wrench here. It has a button on the front which allows you to change the width of the jaws. But the reason this is such a wonderful tool is because the jaws stay parallel to each other when you clamp down, which gives even a pressure across the whole frame. It's very good. I use it quite a bit, and it's also good because it doesn't mar up little acorn nuts and things like that. Sometimes you get a fixture that'll have a round decorative nut on it, and you can get a hold of that and really crank it down. So that's the Knipex. This is model number 8605180, and again, expensive. Believe this was in the $50 range. You have to have a wire stripper when you do any electrical work. This is the kind that I choose. This strips all different gauge wire, and it works really well. It doesn't always do the job, but sometimes you have to fiddle with it, but when it's working, it saves you a lot of time, and I prefer this kind. So, wire stripper, and you can get this at a Lowe's or a Home Depot for about, it's under $20. Another excellent tool which I've had for many years. This is a lineman's plier. I got this at Home Depot long time ago. This one I like because it has a spring, so it returns easily. Some people don't like that. I like it. This one will cut really thick wire. Good for grabbing a hold of your wires and twisting them together before you put a wire nut in. My friend and also employer has a term that he says never trust a wire nut. So every time that you put 2 or 3 or 4 wires together, you first twist them together with your lineman's pliers, and then you put the wire nut on. Lineman's pliers. They can be, these were probably $20, maybe $25. Utility knife. Use this a lot for stripping wires back inside boxes. This is my favorite kind. This is the Milwaukee Fastback, and the price of this, I believe, is in the $12 to $14 range. It's got a nice clip on it. You can open it with one hand, which I like a lot. It's easy to replace the blade, and just push in on that little black button. Important, you have to have one of those. Another Milwaukee product. I'm finding them to be excellent. This is a standard screwdriver. It's ratcheted. These cost about $18, and it has several bits in it. And electrician's helper, we use this all the time. This one has a nice little wire bending feature. When you're putting in receptacles or switches, you stick your wire in this little hole and you can give it a bend so that it goes in nicely. These bits can be hard to get in and out, but Louis says if you blow in here, they go in and out more easily. And they do. Oh, I don't know how he comes up with these things. So that's another important tool. Little wood chisel. Sometimes you have to chisel out some furring strips and you want to run a wire through and put some standoffs. It's good to have a wood chisel. Ah, the old rapid twist twirly drivers. These are great for when you're doing trim outs and you're putting in plates. This is a Phillips head, which I don't use as much as I do use the flathead twirly driver. I would not recommend Southwire. This one has not performed very well. I had one before this, which was a Klein, and it was great. And it was an old friend, and I left it on one of the job sites. But twirly driver, great thing to have. Got to have a marker, Sharpie type marker. This is a Bic. I like these because they're retractable. You don't have to keep track of a cap, but you'll be labeling wires and measuring, so you have to have a marking pen like that. The next thing that I have is a pencil. Same idea. I made a little custom tool here for cleaning out not grout, but stucco out of boxes for weatherproof boxes. It's just a screw that I've sharpened and put in an end of a wooden dowel, but it helps to clear that out so you can screw it in. I've got a tester here. This is the brand new fancy Sperry tester. Oh, the twirly drivers cost average about $12. This was about a $26 tool. It has your inductive tester to see if a wire is live, and then it has a plug tester. Works well. It's expensive. It doesn't take standard batteries, but I like it. I think it's worth the price. Also, red cap chisel. Phil, I saw Phil using one of these very expertly. And this is good because when you're trying to install bracket boxes into block wall, you need to fine-tune the hole. So, recommend that you have one of these. Ah, another Milwaukee product. Oh, and the chisel runs about $10 for that particular size, Home Depot. Here's a Milwaukee saw. Easily takes any kind of blade you want to put. You can put a metal blade, wood blade from your Sawzall type. This is what was this? I think this was about $16. You need this for cutting in drywall. You gotta, on trim outs, a lot of times you have to find wires, or you need to cut holes for cut-in boxes. Good to have one of these. You won't get slowed down. I have a level here. One of the low volt guys, probably an alarm company or something, left this on the top of a low volt box. But this is also essential for installing things. I have two types of levels. I have this one, torpedo level, and then I have kind of like this stubby one. They're both magnetic. One like this would probably run about $18. I got this one for $10 from Home Depot. It's Husky brand. Good to have. I have a second inductive tester that Scott gave me. The thing that I like about this one is these run about $20. This one, when you turn it on, it stays on and it beeps when the electricity is going through it, so you can leave it on a wire, and if you're within earshot, you can go to the breaker panel and switch it off, and then you'll know when that circuit goes off because it'll stop beeping. So that's a good one. This one, on the other hand, that I mentioned before, does not do that. This one has a pressure switch, and you have to hold that down in order to get a reading. So you can't walk away from it and figure out whether the electricity has gone off. I have 2 bits that I use quite a bit for running wire through studs on the wall. Good to have these. These clip into my impact driver, which works quite well to do that. And this is a brand new tool. I'm going to be using this because I realized I needed something to pry. If I need to move a can light, it's very difficult to get them off and keep the nails for the can light straight by using a hammer, so I just bought this. I think that pretty much covers it up, except for the tape. This I got at Walmart. It was about $11. Tape, you can also get this at Walmart for about $8. You got to have a measuring tape. All things you need to do any kind of electrical work, whether it be rough in or trim out. Boy, do I like tools. I spend too much money on tools, but it is such a pleasure to be able to get a job done fast and efficiently because you have the right tools. We'll put all this back in here. This Tough Built, it has a little kickstand, so if you want to take it off your belt and set it beside you when you're working low. Work as an electrician's helper is it's a little bit rough. It can be pretty hot in the summer. There's a lot of climbing up and down ladders. It takes a little while to get the hang of what's going on, to learn everything well. I think it's good to work hard. It's good to sweat. It's like the Bible says, part of the curse of sin is that everything we do that's worthwhile, that profits us, will profit us because of the sweat of our brow. We don't need an entitlement type attitude, and I think it's healthy for our bodies to work hard. Those are the tools that any electrician or electrician's helper will need to have in order to work quickly and efficiently. I hope this helps. If you find that you're going to be employed as an electrician's helper. Thanks for watching, and have a very nice life.